Hey food lovers, my name is Adrian and I love food. Thank you for joining me again. Today's video is based on my last video about my weight loss journey. I had a few people message me on Facebook, ask me a number of questions, particularly about my diet. So rather than address everyone individually, I thought I'd make a video as there are quite a few things to say. The first thing I want to mention before I get stuck into this is the information that I'll share with you guys are not things that I came up with. They are things that I've collated over the years by talking to nutritionists, doctors, personal trainers, reading a number of articles and just generally talking to people that know a lot more than I do about diet and nutrition. So what I do is I follow a 5-hour break in between my meals. In that 5 hours in between the meals, I don't snack at all. Now, the reason for that is I want to give my body time to use the calories from the meal that I've given it. And then my body will start burning the stored energy, the fat, before I give it more calories with the following meal. So following that 5-hour rule for me was very important. It's something I've stuck to and I still stick to it 100%. Losing weight, I guess, if you break it down, it basically consuming less calories than what you burn. That's basically what it all comes down to. So then the question is, how many calories should I consume if I want to lose weight? And unfortunately, there is no answer, not one answer that suits everybody. It largely depends upon how much you weigh. It depends on your gender, depends on how active your lifestyle is. There are a number of factors that come into play that determine just how many calories you should have to maintain a healthy lifestyle and lose weight. So for me personally, I gave myself a limit of 1,000 calories a day. The thing though with calories, I don't know anybody that enjoys reading the back of the packaging to find out just how many calories are in this, in that, in everything. So what I've done to make my life easier, I've turned to shakes, which I guess a lot of people do. The main reason for that is it's very easy, very quick, very convenient, and I know exactly how many calories I've had in that particular shake. The thing to remember about shakes though, a lot of them contain huge amounts of sugar. And when you're trying to lose weight, the main thing that you should be having is protein, protein, protein. Because I've got a mild intolerance to dairy and slight intolerance to lactose, for me, it wasn't very easy to find a shake that my body agreed with. So after trying a number of shakes, I finally settled on a shake by Fat Blaster. So Fat Blaster make a variety of shakes, and Clinical is the one that I use. Now I should mention that they no longer make the Clinical range now. So I bought probably about 20 boxes when they discounted them to half price because they were trying to get rid of them. So these particular shakes come in 3 flavors, and I guess you would get sick of having the same flavor shake day in, day out. So I've got the chocolate, the vanilla, and the strawberry, which are the 3 flavors that it comes in. So keep in mind, you don't have to have shakes. If you've tried shakes and you don't like them, then I strongly suggest you download an app called Calorie King. Now, Calorie King has been designed for Australian and American foods, where you can look up how many calories you get in an egg, or how many calories you get in an apple, or in chicken breast. So you can do it that way. It obviously just takes more time and more preparing and probably takes a bit more time out of your day to do that. But certainly with Calorie King, you can definitely get that done. One of the things I did in the early stages, I was recommended that I download an app called Monitor Your Weight. Monitor Your Weight, I found it to be an excellent tool to help keep me on track with my weight loss. It monitors your BMI, it monitors your measurements, it monitors obviously your weight, and you can set goals and things like that. So I really strongly recommend Monitor Your Weight, being that it's free. It's even better, but it's a really good app. The main meal for me was my dinner. I've organized my diet then based on when I'm most hungry, and so for dinner what I have is I have a Caesar salad. I love Caesar salads. You can get these from any supermarket really, but this particular one is 250 grams, and it's basically got 360 calories if you have the whole thing. With it though, as I said about the protein being very important, when I first started on this weight loss journey, I had 2 tuna cans with it, the sweet chili, because I love, as you guys would have seen from my previous video, I love sweet chili sauce. The only problem with this particular can is it's got 675 kilojoules per can, and I would have 2 of these cans. So really, that was a lot of extra calories that I probably shouldn't have had. So what I did instead, I swapped to the same tuna cans but in spring water, and the kilojoules dropped from 675, they dropped down to 300. So that's less than half. Now, the tuna in spring water doesn't have really a lot of flavor, and that's where I like to add my own spices, and one of the things that I like to add is the chili sauce. Now, this particular chili sauce, it says it's got less than 1 calorie per serve, and there's approximately 30 serves in this bottle. So really, adding a few drops of this chili sauce to the can is pretty well adding no calories at all. And that way I still get to have a decent meal with 2 of these cans and the salad. And usually if there's veggies or fruit or whatever's left from the kids, I'll eat that as well. Obviously I don't have the pasta. The biggest thing that I found is to stay away from processed sugar. Processed sugar seems to be the worst at putting on weight. So the only sugar that I get these days is from apples. I like my green apples, my Granny Smith apples. I usually have 1 or 2 or 3 depending on the size, and I have that with my dinner at night. Again, I don't have it, as I said, in between meals. I don't snack, but I do have those apples with my dinner. So I do get, I guess, my good sugars that way. As far as carbs, I only really have the croutons that come in the Caesar salad. I try and not have any other carbs at all. And this diet worked for me, for most of those 50 kilos that I lost. Now, certainly, I got sick of tuna cans. There's only so many tuna cans you can have. So then I would replace the tuna cans with hard-boiled eggs, or I would replace it with cheese, or try and mix a few different proteins there together. Also, what I really love is getting the roast chickens from the supermarket, and I would try and break that up in about 4, and I would have basically my salad with my quarter chicken for dinner. Now, anyone that's tried to lose weight will know that eventually you plateau, and it's very frustrating when you're doing the right thing and yet the scale isn't moving. So the only way that I was able to break the plateau is to introduce intermittent fasting. So what I mean is I would have my shake for breakfast, usually around 7 o'clock. And rather than have my shake at 12, I would have nothing for the rest of the day except water until 5 p.m. when I would have my dinner, when the kids and my wife and everyone else ate dinner at home as well. And I've noticed that introducing the intermittent fasting like that, 2 or 3 days a week, really helped shock my body into losing weight again. The important thing is not to get on the scale too often, and I am, my wife knows I'm guilty of this. I guess a lot of people that are on their journey of weight loss will get on the scale very often, and our bodies, I guess, are not a machine. We can't expect the same weight loss every week, and there are some weeks where, even though I was doing the right thing, the scales weren't moving, and it was very, very disheartening, very disappointing when you put the work in and you don't get the results. One of the things that has changed, besides me losing weight with my new diet, is I have now saved a lot of money on food. Before the new healthy me, before my new healthy lifestyle, I used to spend a lot of money on takeaway, and again, it was good, it was quick, and ultimately it was killing me. So now, not only am I losing weight but getting healthier, but I'm also saving money. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier in my research about a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle was to cut out diet drinks. Even the sugar-free drinks, they've got a lot of additives and artificial sweeteners which are not healthy, and the old me would have easily had 2 liters of more of Coke No Sugar or Pepsi Max or whatever diet drink I could get my hands on, but the new me, for the first 8 months or so of my weight loss journey, I didn't even have one single can, not even a drop a day. And probably for the last couple of months, I've slowly started introducing my diet drinks back into my diet, but I try and limit myself to 1 can a day, and that's with my dinner. I just want to briefly touch on exercise. I know there are people out there that absolutely love going to the gym, but by the same token, I know there are people out there that hate going to the gym. I don't love it, and I definitely don't hate it, but I would say I'm not really a massive fan of the gym. For me, I haven't really gone out of my way to exercise as such. What I do though, I spend a lot of time in my backyard where I've cut down a couple of trees and I've removed a few tree stumps, and I've done a lot of work with landscaping and moving rocks and boulders and things like that. So doing things like that definitely helped with my physical exercise and sweating. But I'm definitely not a massive fan of going to the gym, but I did get my exercise from that. I try and set at least 1 or 2 days aside every week where I don't work. I just go outside and do all the work that needs to be done around the property. And not only has that helped my weight loss journey, but it's also improved my fitness as well. I've noticed even doing the smallest thing, it's a lot easier now than what it used to be when I started. So 80-20 in regards to weight loss. So 80% of your weight loss will come from your diet, and about 20% from exercise. And I, as I said, it does vary depending on who you talk to, but I think most people will agree that it's an 80-20 split. So even if you don't have an active lifestyle, and a lot of people out there have office jobs where unfortunately they don't get to do any sort of physical activity, as long as your diet, as long as you're on top of your diet 100%, then you can still live a healthy lifestyle, ultimately, you know, including some form of physical exercise will be very beneficial. But as long as you're on top of your diet, you know, the weight will come off. Before I wrap this up, I just wanted to have one quick recap. So firstly, 5 hours in between meals, no snacking in between. Avoid processed sugars, avoid them like the plague. Minimal carbs and protein. And use an app like Monitor Your Weight to keep you on track. I do like my sweets, but I definitely wouldn't call myself a sweet tooth. I thought I would miss a lot of the sweets, but truth be told, I don't. What I do miss more than anything is the quantities that I used to eat. I easily used to be able to have 2 pizzas to myself, a garlic bread, a 2-liter bottle of Coke. So I definitely do miss those big meals. And what I found quite hard through this journey is retraining my brain to know when to stop. And even now, after my dinner, you know, I'm still hungry. I could go back and probably eat 3 of those Caesar salads and probably still could finish a whole roast chicken. But I know that while my body wants it, my brain realizes that I don't need it. And I guess the new me has started listening to my brain, not to my stomach. The old me used to listen to my stomach all the time, and that's how I got in the world of trouble with my weight. Before starting on this weight loss journey, the first thing I had to come to terms with was my weight and just how overweight and unhealthy I was. And it was my wife that helped me realize that. And it was also my wife that helped me to realize that the path that I was on was leading to an early grave, was leading to a life full of health problems. And my family means the world to me, so I want to be around for them as long as I possibly can. And before you start on your weight loss journey, first thing is acknowledging that you have a weight problem, and then finding the why you need to lose the weight. What is your motivation? What is your reasoning for wanting to improve your lifestyle? And no matter how hard the journey gets, always remember your why, and that will help you stay on the path. That's it for today, guys. I hope I've answered your questions. See you guys next time, and remember, never trust a skinny food critic.